Welcome back, everybody. Fox News is American Elections headquarters, with Bernie Sanders supporters turning out to protest a fundraiser for Hillary Clinton that's taking place. About 200 protesters marching and banging pots and pans outside the star-studded event in San Francisco, co-hosted by actor George Clooney and his wife Amer. Sanders supporters arguing that corporate interests are buying Hillary Clinton's influence. Many of those protesters were young tech workers, arguing that venture capitalists are the problem with this industry. Well, as we have been reporting, Bernie Sanders sitting down with Pope Francis during a special trip to the Vatican. Sanders traveling to the Vatican to speak at a conference just days before the New York primary. But on Fox and Friends earlier today, Donald Trump says he's not apparently impressed with Sanders' papal audience.
5 minutes is very short to have been talking about, as Bernie says, climate change and all of the other things he mentioned. 5 minutes sounds like, try and get me in to see him so I don't get myself embarrassed before I come back to New York. So that's a 5-minute visit. You cannot do much in a 5 minute. After you say hello, there's no time left.
Impressed or not, though, Mr. Trump and Sanders may actually have something in common: a fight over delegates with questions about the process that they are dealing with. Joining us now, Amer Zahr, who is an adjunct professor of law at the University of Detroit, Mercy, and a Bernie Sanders supporter. Welcome. Great to have you on board today.
Hi, thanks, Uma. Thanks for having me.
Let's talk for a moment first about the audience with the Pope. I know this was something that was planned ahead of time, but surprising some of his most ardent supporters, because some of the values that the Pope embraces may not coincide with what liberal Democrats want to see happen.
Well, I mean, on the big issues of climate change, a moral economy, these are things that Bernie Sanders and the Pope see eye to eye on. So, I mean, you don't have to agree with everyone about everything. But on these big, major global issues, Senator Sanders has said many times he thinks that the Pope is a hero and he's standing in the right place, and he was honored to be there in the Vatican.
In fact, Mr. Sanders really seems to be quite taken with the Pope, and found that this visit was something that he was really looking forward to and came away very impressed.
Well, I think, what you saw this weekend was really clearly illustrated the difference between Senator Sanders and his opponent. You have Senator Sanders going to the Vatican to speak about a moral global economy, climate change, having a quick meeting with the Pope. And you have Hillary Clinton in California doing $33,000 a person fundraisers with the Hollywood elite. So this is really what you see going on in the Democratic campaign, and that's why many of us are standing with Senator Sanders.
Going forward, Bernie Sanders talks about his frustrations with the process of choosing delegates on the Democratic side, particularly right here in New York, where a number of independents will not be able to participate come Tuesday.
Well, I mean, closed primaries are a problem in general, not just for Senator Sanders. I mean, if we really want to have a process where people get to go out and vote for the candidate they want, we might want to have open primaries everywhere. But we really do feel, even by the time June 7th rolls around, after June 7th, that we'll have more pledged delegates than Secretary Clinton. And we'll be making a very strong argument, hopefully at the convention, that Bernie is the candidate to win in the fall. He's beating Trump and Cruz in polls by more than Senator Clinton. He has all the momentum. He's bringing a whole army of people into the political process that were totally marginalized before. And so we really feel he's the best candidate to take us for a win in November.
A lot of folks seem to be very surprised by the spirited nature of this recent debate that took place this week between the two candidates. How did you feel about it? And do you think we're going to see more of Sanders going out and being very open and very candid about his concerns about Mrs. Clinton and her ties to Wall Street and corporate America?
I think as the campaign goes on, you start seeing the contrast much more sharply. And you start seeing that, taking all this money from super PACs, from Wall Street, from big business, as time goes on, you see that the electorate is less kind of comfortable with these things, And when Senator Sanders talks about overturning Citizens United, having a campaign about the people, about people who are not interested in billionaires running the country, but the people running the country. And we have Senator Sanders in the debate the other night talking about all kinds of issues that presidential candidates don't normally hit on, equal treatment of Palestinians, climate change in a big way, banning fracking. These are things that the new generation of Americans are really interested in, and Senator Sanders is really touching on that.
It did appear that he put Mrs. Clinton on the defensive on several points during the debate.
Well, I mean, those of us who support Senator Sanders, we were really happy with the debate. I mean, I think he really drew the differences. He was very, very strong. And look, don't be surprised if he wins New York on Tuesday. We thought he wasn't going to win Michigan. He was down by 20 points. He won Michigan. We think in these last 4 or 5 days, as he's heading back to New York today, that we can all go out and win New York on Tuesday.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it. I know the stakes remain quite high and that you see momentum on your side. Appreciate it. All the best to you.
Thank you.